On this episode of 427 Motorsports, it's time to catch up with our Subaru Impreza build, which, if you remember when we last recorded, ended with me nearly in tears. But this time, it's much more optimistic. I've learned how to weld, I've learned how to properly underseal, and now we're going to get a quick update on how it's all going, and I'll show you how much better it is since you last seen it. I know I'm sick, my voice is weird, and my head is fried, so the intro is not great. Let's cut to the actual proper intro and have a look. So let's talk about learning to weld. Now, welding is one of those things that is kind of the scariest thing for a lot of classic car owners. Like, a lot of cars get scrapped over the head of needing welding, or if there's any rot, that's usually, well, it's the end of the classic. Now, unfortunately, I love this car far too much, and I wasn't going to let a little bit of rot let it go out to pasture, so I thought, right, I need to learn. So basically armed with some YouTube videos and a Sealy welder that we had, and thankfully we already had all of the equipment here to do it. I just got stuck in, quite frankly. The biggest pain for me really is having to take the petrol tank out and stuff. Now, a lot of people say you don't need to do that with a diesel car, so I'm looking forward to welding something diesel, but with this I had to drop the tank and then all the fuel lines, make sure it was all empty, and it was just a bit of a pain in the ass, quite frankly. But welding itself isn't too bad. Now, my welds are far from tidy, but the important thing is they're solid. I was able to hit them with a hammer really hard, and they didn't come off, so I took that as okay, that is welded to the car. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a ton of fiberglass and filler to try and make it look cleaner, and seam sealer to hide the fact that the welds are, well, they're ugly, but I don't care because it's the first time I've ever done it, and if you go into your first thing expecting perfection, well, you're just in for a life of disappointment, quite frankly. But I would recommend giving it a go. The hard part for me, being totally honest, is fabricating of panels. Now, for these Subarus, but Volkswagens mainly, there's like any panel you want available and for not very much money. With the Subarus, it's not quite as easy. The sills are available and the back arches are available, but stuff underneath isn't that easy to get. So you will be doing a lot of messing around, folding cardboard, marking templates, and I wasn't very good at it, being totally honest. I will get better as time goes on, I'm sure, but that was my downfall. I would have had it done an awful lot quicker if I was more skilled at doing that, basically. I also, I'm not a full-time mechanic, and I have a full-time job outside of this, and a girlfriend that I would rather didn't want to leave me, so balancing the time between working on this and doing all that is not super duper easy, which is why it's probably not finished yet, but I'm hoping by the time there's another video, it'll be finished. So let's have a look around the rest of the car now and see how I got on. So let's start looking around. Now, obviously she looks very different already from when you last seen her, because this is all dinitrolled and all of the crap that was along here is gone. There is a reason that there's sealant there and no brake lights. We'll get to that in a bit. In the back, all the welding has been done to the back arches, the inner arches, covered with soundproofing and painted in Cashmere Yellow. And because I had some soundproofing left, I did the whole floor. I thought, you know what, you're only going to do this once, so you might as well get her done. I need to sort the amplifier wiring, which is sitting in the front somewhere, on the speaker wiring, and then I can put the interior all back together. As you can see here though, what I've done is I've done the door shuts and the boot shuts. Now I haven't finished the driver's side, but the back side, the arse. And I've done the passenger side, haven't done the other side. But that already had paint from when the car was painted, forget that. But you can see just how faded the outside is compared to the inside, especially there. You can sort of see the colours, like it's the exact same paint code, same manufacturer paint and everything. It's just, well, age, I guess. As well as that, I did the engine bay. So this front section has all been done. The alternator bracket's been painted pink. The strut brace has been painted STI pink. I will be doing the intercooler surround at some stage. And I want to spray paint they say STI on the STIs. This isn't a real STI, so I might do like a 427 logo or something like that there. But finally, that bit's all done. And it's really brightened the interior up. Sorry, no, it's brightened the engine bay up. I am sick, leave me alone. The exhaust, as you can see, lying on the ground, had to come off to do some welding work. So I've painted it. It's a bit tacky looking, I know, but it's to protect it more than anything. The back box I didn't touch. I figured I'd leave it alone. I'll maybe polish it with some metal polish or something like that. Started to refurb the wheels as well. I've done the ones on the, well, I started that one on the back and realised I was missing the sander I needed. I know they look okay on camera, but when you get up close, they're chipped and there's crap on them. So I thought, you know what, if this is going to be done now, it's going to be done right. As you can also see, I ran out of paint, which is why I haven't done the driver's side and why I haven't done the actual door and boot shuts, but I'll get them done next. But of course, what you all want to see is underneath. Now I taught myself how to weld. I have done one single patch in my life before this, but I've never really tried to like fabricate panels and start welding and stuff, and this is the first time in my life I've done it, and I'm really proud actually. So the whole underside's looking great right now. I think you can agree. That back corner there, it's kind of hard to see at the minute, but I'll put the shots in where you can see just how rotten it was. The last time you seen this car, I was an emotional wreck. Cutting out or discovering more and more rot. But thankfully, as far as I can see, I have all of the rot gone, and I am so impressed with how the back end of this car is looking. I will point out the diff studs. I put a GD, which is a bug eye, blob eye, blah 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 subframe into the back of this GC8. What I didn't know is that you need different length diff studs if you do that. Turns out every model except the GD Impreza uses the same ones. So thankfully I was able to get new ones. They haven't been fitted yet, but I've got them. So for example, this whole back corner was just completely gone, but I fabricated sections, welded them in. Not the absolute tidiest, but you know what? I don't care. It is my very first time doing this properly, so I'm happy enough. And it was the same story on this side arch as well. And I had to put that whole section in there. It gets hidden with the skirt, as you can see, but you know, I just wanted to make sure it was strong. MOT man won't see it, but I will. You can see the amount of new nuts and bolts that I have on the back. Everything's all shiny, everything marked pink whenever it's been torqued to spec. Yes, I actually torqued stuff on this, believe it or not. So not me, but here we are. The filler neck, that's all sorted. This is an absolute rot trap, so I really need to think of something to try and prevent that, or maybe just don't drive it as much, I guess. But you know, years of daily driving and in all weathers didn't prove pleasurable to thine eye, as Partridge would say. This back section we had all done nicely, welded back, smoothed and all, because this whole corner was completely rotten. It was coming away. Then I went to put the bumper on and it wouldn't fit properly, so we started massaging it with a hammer. But it's going to take me and Dad both at it to try and get it right, because it's going to take one of us holding the bumper and one of us fettling. But there we are. You can see as well, I got a Momo wheel and a Momo snap-off boss, but I haven't, well, the boss kit didn't fit properly, so me and Dad are going to lathe it, which will be another video, to make it fit, because there's an adapter bit that sticks out too much and it won't fit. But God, I'm so excited to have this car nearly finished. You have no idea what it means. So the most recent job I have done is actually this back corner. I was fighting with handbrake parts. Funnily enough, me and Dad did a video on this a couple of years ago and I forgot how to do it, so I watched the video back and it was actually a really handy guide, so there you go. But yeah, I was fighting with new handbrake components on this side. On the other side, I need to change the handbrake cable, which I haven't done yet. I've never done, I don't think. It's still on the factory ones, so I'm hoping it's not too hard, but yeah. So just some admin to finish up this video. Thank you very much for watching. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who has bought t-shirts or merch or watched videos or liked or subscribed. It has all went towards nuts and bolts and getting this thing done, and in future it will go towards the next projects and so on and so forth. I'd like to give an especially big thank you to the patrons. You guys are awesome, and I can't believe you actually signed up to it. I think you're mad in the head, but thank you very much. If you haven't already, I'll put the Patreon link here. I'll put it in the comments, and also the Discord link. So if you want to talk shit, I'm sorry I don't get into it as much as I would like to. I do get into it sometimes, but it's just life's busy. The next project on the list, well, hopefully the next video will be this finished, but the next project on the list is going to be the 1.8T GTI. It was going to be the Mercedes, but the GTI, people want to see it, and I want it out of the way, quite frankly. So the GTI is coming into the garage soon, and then I'll be doing a much more in-depth build on it because I want people to learn from it, whereas this is a look how fucked my Subaru is, please help. But thankfully no, she's going to be saved. We're nearly at the final stages now, and then Lara will come in and I'll show you all how to make a 1.8T and life will be great. But anyway, for now, thank you all so much for watching. It means the world. I've been Tomo, this is 427 Motorsports, and I'll see you in the next one. Good luck.